Hello, welcome to another episode of our live stream. Excuse me 1 second, I got to say something. Welcome to another episode of our live stream, My Journey to the Trinity. Hope you're having a good day, and I'm kind of hoping our friend, oops, I don't want to block Pinky's view. I'm kind of hoping our friend Chloe will come today, just because this is kind of, she's studying OBYN, that type stuff. And so she's really good on this topic. So it would be great if she could come. I hope she does. But either way, I was wanting to talk a little bit just because something I've noticed is happening right now is there's a lot of these celebrities who are coming on and bragging about their abortions. They're bragging about the fact that they had abortions, and so you want it? Okay. So before, people were kind of ashamed to talk about it, but I mean, I'm seeing so many celebrities are coming out. They're just bragging. Yeah, I had an abortion because of this. I had an abortion because of my career. Mostly it's because of their careers that they want to have abortions, and so and they're bragging about it, and so it bothers me a little bit to be seeing this. It reminds me of the end of the book of Romans on chapter 1. Let me just show you that. Romans chapter 1. And I think part of it is the this thing with Kamala Harris, the big abortion push. And let me show you this. Okay. Preset. It says, furthermore, just as they do not think it worthwhile to retain the knowledge of God, God gave them over to a depraved mind, so that they do what ought not to be done. They have become filled with every kind of wickedness, evil, greed, and depravity. They are full of envy, murder, strife, deceit, malice. They are gossips, slanderers, God haters, insolent, arrogant, and boastful. They invent ways of doing evil. They disobey their parents. They have no understanding of fidelity, no love, no mercy. Although they know God's righteous decree that those who do such things deserve death, they not only continue to do these very things, but they approve of those who practice them. See, this is especially the thing that I was that not only do they do those things, but they approve those who practice them. Okay, this is Romans 1:32. I'm kind of curious if I put Romans 1:32. I'm just kind of curious to see how different Bible translations translate that. Let's see. Okay. The New International Version says, they do those very things, but also approve of those who practice them. Yet they do them anyway. Worse yet, they encourage others to do them too. Okay, they not only do them, but they give approval to those who practice them, Kamala Harris. They not only continue to do these things, but also approve of those who practice them. Okay, they have pleasure in them that do them. So they have pleasure in all these people who are doing these evil things. And so they not only do it, they give hearty approval to those who practice them. Okay. So that's kind of a lot of them translated hearty approval of them that practice them. So anyway, so that's kind of and it seems to be happening a lot, and some celebrities, some of them celebrities that I've known, for years, and yet now they're coming out and saying, "Oh, I had an abortion and I needed it for my career and all this stuff." And so I just want to look at some of them, and I just want to tell you, after we talk about this a little bit, I'm going to talk about something out of the Quran in relationship to abortion. And you guys, you wanna hang around for this. This is I just found this out today. It's mind blowing. It is mind blowing. Okay, but I'm going to talk about it after I talk about these celebrities. Okay, but believe me, it's worth hanging around. I just found this thing. I just was watching a video and I could not believe what I heard. And it's in relationship to the Quran and abortion. So, oh my goodness, it's going to blow your mind. Just wait. But first, we're going to talk about these celebrities. Some of them I used to, I never respected them, but I used to listen to their music and stuff. One of them is this has a Islamic connection. Is Sinead O'Connor? She became a Muslim. You guys know that she became a Muslim. Okay, and this is what she said about her abortion. And you guys, I don't want to say like you're trying to shame women and stuff who do these. They're in the media bragging about this. They're not like being shamed. The Bible says they glory in their shame. They're in the media bragging about it. It's not like I had to go look for this. You go to People Magazine, go to all these big celebrity magazines, and some of them have 50 celebrities who had abortions. 50 celebrities who had abortions, and they're all smiling, and they're bragging about it. And especially now, you see, but I never noticed this until because of Kamala Harris and her humongous abortion thing. The whole Democratic Party, you guys, don't believe any of the so-called good policies and everything that they're trying to push. The Democrats are absolutely focused on one thing: abortion. The whole campaign of Kamala Harris is the foundation is abortion. It's not immigration. It's not the economy. It's abortion. It's very clear. And the media they're very honest about it. This is because Roe v. Wade was overturned. And so the whole focus of the Democratic campaign right now is abortion. Okay. And go watch how Michelle Obama was talking about abortion yesterday. Go see how passionate she was. Men, please, men that we love, please care about us, care about our bodies. This is Michelle Obama yesterday. And it's a spirit of Molech. It's that satanic spirit of Molech. It has taken over the Democratic Party. And so because of that, all these celebrities, these female celebrities are coming out and saying, yes, I had an abortion and this is why. Okay. So now Sinead O'Connor died last year, but she all forms of evil. Remember her when she tore the picture of the Pope at Saturday Night Live and caused a lot of controversy. And she was super, she became a Muslim. She became a Muslim. And so she started wearing the hijab, and I think her son committed suicide. But she also had an abortion. So here's what she said about abortion. Sinead O'Connor has spoken and sung about having an abortion. I was left with the decision of whether or not to have a child, knowing that the father wasn't going to be around. She told Spin in 1991 of having an abortion the year before. So she had the abortion in 1990. She was already very famous by then. I decided that it was better not to, and that I could handle the child at a later stage when the father would be around and involved. I didn't feel that I could handle it by myself. It was better not to. Okay. Okay, but she did have the abortion. Okay. And when she said better not to, it's better not to have a child. Okay. So, you know, you could say a lot of things about that, Well, then the father wasn't going to be around. Why did you have these relations with this man if he wasn't going to be around to raise his father? There's so many questions about this. And anyway, she became a Muslim, and she died last year. And one of her children committed suicide. One of her sons committed suicide. So, but yeah, so I know a lady had over 7 abortions. You have no idea what people are doing. Yeah. Passing your children through the fire. How many pregnant patients would cry to me about past abortions? Even the husbands would pour out their grief. It destroys people until they give born again and realize they have been forgiven. This is the spirit of Molech. Sinead sinned. Yeah, Sinead O'Connor. Come, Lord Jesus. Yes. All right. Okay. All right. Well, here's one, you guys, that I used. Here's another one. I wasn't really surprised when I saw this one, but Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg in Angela Bonavaglia's 2001 book, The Choices We Made. 25 people spoke about their experiences with abortion, including Whoopi Goldberg, who gave herself an abortion at 14 years old under the horrific circumstances. I talked to nobody. I panicked, she said. In the book, she talks about trying to multiple potentially deadly methods, including ingesting poisonous substance. I was more afraid of having to explain to anybody what was wrong than going to the park with a hanger, which is what I did. Yoppa yay. Yeah. Shoot. Okay. All right, you guys. I know this is it's painful. It really it's hurt. It's painful to read this stuff, but this is reality. And I don't really see her bragging. Yeah, but I do. She's very pro-choice, and Okay, this is someone that someone I used to really like to listen to her music. Okay, when I was a kid. Of course, I don't now, but I did when I was a kid. So let me see. Okay, it's right here. Stevie Nicks. Now she's famous. She's famous for her witchcraft too. She's a witch, and she was just on Saturday Night Live a few weeks ago. And but her most famous song is about a witch called Rhiannon, and she has a song called Sorcerer, and super famous. And really got very weird in her music. Lots of cocaine in her younger days. Now, I've heard her sing a Christmas song once, but anyway, Stevie Nicks says not getting an abortion would have destroyed Fleetwood Mac. Now, Fleetwood Mac is the group that she sang with, and she still sings with them. And she says not getting an abortion would have destroyed Fleetwood Mac because she needed to be there to sing for them, I guess. Choosing her career and being willing to sacrifice her kid in order for her career. And I just want to say there's another singer. Her name is Lauryn Hill, and Lauryn Hill did a song. It was called Zion. And Lauryn Hill, I believe she's a Christian, and she had a song called Zion about her baby. The baby's name was Zion. It was like the number one song or something of 1997. And in it, she talks about people telling her to think about her career and abort the baby, but she didn't. And she says, now the joy of my life is Zion. And so having a career, doesn't necessarily mean, you have to choose between your baby and your career. Okay. I was going to see if where's that? Okay. Nicki Minaj. Now, I don't know these guys, but I know that they're very famous. I've heard of them, but I don't know them. She says, getting pregnant as a teenager and deciding to get an abortion was the hardest thing I'd ever gone through. I thought I was going to die, she said. She was only 16 years old and felt haunted by the experience, though she still identifies as pro-choice. I wasn't ready, she said. I didn't have anything to offer her child. For some women, an abortion is an agonizing decision. For others, it's easy and uncomplicated. Either way, Nicki Minaj says it should be legal, safe, and available.
She was Paris Hilton's best friend.
Oh, she was? Well, Paris Hilton is on the list here too. So,
yeah.
Joan Collins, she's 180 years old now. 88, she's 88 now. Explained her right to abortion clearly and fiercely. I had an abortion, she said on an episode of Piers Morgan. It would have been the death of my career. And I was by then 26. It would have been the death of my career. Is a career worth your kid? I don't understand this. It would have been the death of my career. I was 26. Of course, I hesitated. If I was going to have a child, I was going to be able to bring up this child properly and believe strongly that I am in charge of my body. I mean, you guys, these look fiercely, and I think when it's fiercely, I think that's when you know that you made a mistake and you're trying desperately to ignore your conscience. I don't know. It's my opinion. I'm not saying that's what it is, but when it says fiercely about something like this, it makes me think the conscience is bothering her, But one of the things it says in the Bible about the end days is people will be without natural affection. Without natural affection. And what's more natural? What affection is more natural than a mother's love for her child? God says in Isaiah, he says, if a mother could forget her child, then I would forget you, O Israel. But even if a mother would forget her child, I won't forget you. And apparently some mothers out, So, okay. Now this is somebody that I do not know, but I think she's Arab. Okay, her name is an Arab name. In fact, this family name is in my village. Okay, I don't know if you guys know her. Her name is Alia Shokat, and apparently she's either a Muslim or she's Arab. It says in 2019, protesting abortion bans in Alabama and Georgia, Alia Shokat tweeted that she'd had an abortion years before. I was 20 and my partner at the time wasn't allowed into the United States because he is Palestinian, she wrote. I wasn't ready to raise a child alone or to be a mother. I wonder, why uh, why do you feel like once you're pregnant that you have the right to say I'm not ready to be a mother? I mean, you know, um, you're pregnant. You were able to get pregnant. The verse I believe is First Timothy chapter 3. Without natural affection. Yeah. In charge. Well, my heart beating without me knowing of it shows me we are not in charge. Okay. All right. Now, this next one really bothered me because, there was a famous movie in I don't know if it was the 80s or 90s. It was called Sister Act with Whoopi Goldberg. Of course, Whoopi Goldberg is there. Uh, but the movie was, Whoopi Goldberg goes into a monastery and pretends to be a nun, and she becomes friends with all these other nuns. And one of the most famous nuns in that movie was, the fat one. There's that fat one who had a really powerful voice, and she was the actress Kathy Najimy. Kathy Najimy. Well, apparently that nun had an abortion. She wasn't really a nun, but she did have an abortion. So she said she was 19 and a college student when she realized she was pregnant via her ex. I had a really mean, bossy, bully doctor who tried to make me feel bad. And he said, well, you got yourself into this. Do you know what you're going to do? And I said, yes, I'm going to have an abortion. Now, this was that nun. It was, if you watch the movie, she was the most lovable nun on that movie, Sister Act. But here she is bragging that she had an abortion, and then on this one is also one that we know her because she's so famous, and she's one of the reasons why I want to do this tonight, because she's one of the ones that I kind of feel like was coming out now because of Kamala Harris and trying to join the bandwagon. I had an abortion too. It's Sally Field. She says, recalling the harrowing details of her experience, Field said that she was molested during the procedure. So while she was doing the abortion, she was molested, which she said was performed without anesthesia, aside from a few puffs of ether. I still feel very ashamed of it because I was raised in the 50s and it was ingrained in me. It was beyond hideous and life-altering. Okay, so that's Sally Field. But she's pro-choice now. She's not anti. And one of the reasons, all these people are coming out is because of Kamala Harris. Okay. Then there's this. She was on The View, very, very expressive, and her name is Sherri Shepherd. This is what I'm speaking as a girl. Oh my goodness. Listen what she says. I'm speaking as a girl who had a lot of abortions. And I swear to God, if they had shown me a picture of the fetus, Shepherd trailed off, speaking on The View. In 2012, about an anti-abortion law in Texas that forced pregnant women seeking abortions to look at the sonogram images of their pregnancy. I did not have the mental capacity to deal with having a child, she said tearfully. Dang, Sherri Shepherd. I'm speaking as a girl who had a lot of abortions. Dang. If you ever read Dante's Inferno, in Dante's Inferno, there's one place where, he talks about hell. And one of the things in hell that he said he saw is that there were the babies that were aborted, and that the mothers who aborted them in hell had to look at those babies for the rest of their eternity. They have to look at those babies they aborted for the rest of eternity. Now, I don't believe that he was completely right, or that it's not scripture what he said, but it's interesting that that was the view of abortion. And here's what Stevie Nicks said, by the way, you guys. This is what Stevie Nicks said. Imagine you meet a person who has amazing taste in music, but holds terrible, violent idea that women should be forced to give birth. Show them this quote. If I had not had that abortion, I'm pretty sure there would have been no Fleetwood Mac. If I didn't have that abortion, I'm pretty sure there would not have been Fleetwood Mac. That's the band she played with for the last 50 years. I mean, they have a lot of popular music, but was that worth your kid? I mean, okay. Susan Sarandon. I had an abortion in my 20s, Susan Sarandon told The Guardian. My first and only marriage was falling apart. I had an affair with an insane guy, and I knew having a kid with him wasn't the right thing. So she aborted the kid. Okay, here's some others. Ashley Judd. I know she was with the Judds, right? Her and her mom. Paris Hilton. Sally Field shares the harrowing story about abortion in Mexico. We can't go back. You know, what she's saying is that we got to keep abortion legal and all this beautiful stuff. Rita Moreno. Stevie Nicks. Ali MacGraw. Okay, Ali MacGraw, you guys, I don't know if you know, she was really famous in that movie Love Story with Ryan O'Neal. I just remember because I watched it as a kid, and my mom took us to watch it in the theater, but she was the heroine in that movie. And so in the 70s, she did this People magazine cover. 9 women, including Ali MacGraw, tell starkly different stories about how abortion affected their lives. And Britney Spears, I didn't know. You know, Britney Spears, I thought she was a Christian. So, and she said, you know, she had a kid with Justin or some guy, and she didn't want to have it. He didn't want to have it. And so she had an abortion. So, okay. So those are some celebrities out there. And now because of the election, especially with Kamala Harris, you're going to be hearing more stuff like this. You're going to be hearing more stuff like this because the whole foundation of the Democratic campaign is abortion. It 100%, you guys. This is Kamala Harris's strong point, is abortion, because they're angry that Roe v. Wade was overturned. And so she wants to nationalize abortion again, and from the federal government, make it absolute, because, you know, what Donald Trump did, by, even though he didn't do it, but the Supreme Court, when the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, the decision of abortion went to all the states now, and every state determines what kind of abortion laws they want. And so what she wants to do is to make it a national issue again, to where no state is allowed to prohibit abortion in any way. So some states, you can't have abortion after 15 weeks, some after, you know, and the heartbeat, you know. So, yeah, so that's kind of where things are right now. And it really bothered me. Britney Spears was coerced, she said, and had a song about it, but no one knew the song. Oh, really? I didn't know about that. Wow. Do you know which song it was? Yeah. Um, but so many times they're talking about it was a choice between the career and the baby. You know, looking at the release dates of Fleetwood Mac albums, were most albums prior to Stevie Nicks' 1979 abortion? I'm not convinced that an abortion would have destroyed this group. You're right. I didn't know that it was in 1979 that she had the abortion, because I know their biggest album. They had two really big albums, 75 and 76 and 77. And the biggest one was called Rumors, which was in 1976. And yeah, so it doesn't look like it would have affected. But anyway. All right, you guys. Well, now, since we're on the subject of abortion, I was watching, I kind of put in YouTube, I wanted to hear about Islam and abortion. And I heard something, you guys, that yeah, in fact, I have Ida's glasses here. Uh, uh, um, but every time is okay. Thank you. Thank you for telling me that. Yeah, I'll look up the lyrics of it. So, um, but I put in Arabic, the word for abortion is ijhad. Ijhad. You know, let me write it down for you. So if you ever wanted to look it up in Arabic, okay, ijhad, ijhad. That's ijhad, had, not had. Ijhad is how you say the word abortion in Arabic. So I put ijhad in Arabic. I wrote it ijhad fil Islam, ijhad in Islam. Now, I know that in Islam, and I've talked about this before, Shabir Ali is very much pro choice if you look at his videos. The Muslim belief, because of a hadith that Muhammad had, I got several different things I want to say, but let me go ahead and show you this hadith. It's probably important for what we're talking about. Okay, sunnah.com. It's a crazy Muhammad's embryology. And if we have any Muslim doctors on who could come on and verify that Muhammad's embryology works, let me see. Um, uh, shoot. Um, let me see. See if I can find it. Okay. Okay. Here is the hadith of Bukhari. Shoot. Where'd it go? Okay. Okay. This is the hadith where Muhammad talks about the stages of fetal development. Okay. It says Abdullah bin Mas'ud narrates that the messenger said, truly inspired, the matter of creation of a human being put together in the womb of its mother in 40 days. And then he becomes a clot of thick blood, alaka, for a similar period, and then a piece of mudgha, flesh, for a similar period. Then Allah sends the angel who is ordered to write four things. He is ordered to write down the deeds, the livelihood, the day of his death, and whether or not he'll be blessed in religion or wretched, meaning he'll be a Muslim or not. Then the soul is breathed into him. Okay. This is what's important in this. It says, then the soul is breathed into him. When is the soul breathed into him? Okay. First, there's 40 days. And then 40 days, he's 40 days in this, I think, as a sperm. Okay. Then 40 days as a blood clot. And then 40 days as a madra, a piece of chewed flesh. Madra means like a piece of chewed flesh. Okay, so so that's 40, 40, and 40, which is 120 days or 4 months. And so when it reaches the 4-month period, that's when this angel comes and the soul is breathed into him. The soul is breathed into him. Okay. And so the soul is breathed into him at 4 months. When the fetus is 4 months, that's when the angel breathes the soul into him. So in Islam, according to Shabir Ali, you can abort the baby anytime before the 120 days because there is no soul in there. Supposedly there's no soul in the fetus until 120 days. The angel comes at 120 days, writes all this stuff, and then breathes life into him. Okay, so okay, so up to that point, and you know, I know I've played it for you guys before, so I don't think I'm going to play it again, but. So because of that, I knew that in Islam you're allowed to abort the baby up to 4 months. Up to 4 months. Let me just show you what happens to a baby by 4 months. I mean, if you look at because obviously, Muhammad was not an embryologist. And, this is what the baby looks like at the 4-month period. You can see everything. It's a regular baby. It's got toes. It's got fingers. It's got eyes developing. It's got its limbs. It's got the head, the nose, the mouth, the ears. You can see the hair forming. Okay. This is what it says. Month 4 of pregnancy. In the second trimester of pregnancy, months 4, 5, 6, your baby's fingers and toes are well defined. Their eyelids, eyebrows, eyelashes, nails, and hair are formed. The teeth and bones become denser. Your baby can even suck their thumb, yawn, stretch, and make faces. The nervous system is starting to function at this point in pregnancy. The reproductive organs and genitalia are fully developed, and your healthcare provider can see on ultrasound if you're having a boy or a girl. The baby's heartbeat may now be audible through an instrument called a Doppler. By the end of the 4th month, your baby is about 6 inches long and weighs about 4 ounces. So this is a human being. This is very clearly a human being. But in Islam, it's still non-living, because this angel has to come down and breathe life into it at the 120-day period. Okay, so that would be, at the end of 4 months. Okay, but and so you can abort the baby up to 4 months in Islam. Okay, so that's, and I've played the video here many times of Shabir Ali and his daughter talking about this, and Shabir Ali very clearly saying that it's at the 120-day period, you're allowed to abort. Well, what about after the 120-day period? Well, this is where it gets a little interesting, you guys. And this is something that I heard today that it blew my mind, okay? It blew my mind what I heard today, okay? Oh, here's someone who knows. Fetus is viable at 24 weeks, very early, and whisk them off. Okay. Yes, they're very well formed by then, and that's when they are getting active and moving around in there. Exactly. Precious, priceless little lives. They play in the womb. It's beautiful. Wow. It'd be good to have glasses. Okay. To dominate testimonies. Islam is a load of superstition. Yeah. I have a 3-year-old, so all fresh, the older two. Islam is wrong again. It's never been correct. It's scientific. But you guys, so, I could show you the video, but I've shown it before, so I don't think I'm going to go get it right now, because I have another video I want to show you. This other video is actually in Arabic. Okay, this video is in Arabic, where a sheikh is talking about abortion. Okay. Let me see. They told me something was wrong with my daughter. I said, prove it to me, show me. So they did 12 weeks of the highest level sonograms, and I watched her play and suck her thumb, and it was so joyful. Wow, praise the Lord. Yeah. So anyway, but I want to show you what this sheikh says about abortion. And I'm going to translate it for you because it's in Arabic. But you guys, this is mind-blowing. It blew my mind when I heard this, okay? So let's go ahead and, okay, oops, stop screen. Okay, now it's Arabic, so I'm going to translate it for you, okay?
في محافظة أخرى وعندها طفلة تبلغ 7 أشهر وهي الآن حامل شيخ لم تكمل 40 يجوز أن تجهض هذا الحمل.
Okay, so this lady is pregnant and she's asking about abortion, okay?
بالنسبة للإجهاض
about abortion.
في ذلك سواء في هذه الصورة أو في عدمها. ثمة صور محرمة مقطوع بها سواء كان ذلك قبل نفخ الروح أو عدمه، فيكون محرما. السبب في ذلك إذا كان الإنسان أو الرجل يريد أن يأمر زوجته أو الزوجة تريد أن تسقط حملها، إذا كان السبب في ذلك أن الإنسان يخشى الفاقة والفقر فإنه محرم عليه في ذلك، بل يدخل في ذلك ما هو أشد من ذلك. إذا خشي الإنسان أنه يتزوج يخشى من ذلك الفقر فإنه يحرم عليه ذلك الفعل، مع أن أصل الزواج في ذلك والمشروعية لعدم الوجوب على خلاف في هذه المسألة.
Okay, he's talking about the relationship and the responsibility between the husband and the wife, and about, the possibility of having an abortion. Yeah.
فنقول ما يتعلق في هذه الصورة إذا كان دافعها في ذلك في مسألة إسقاط الجنين قبل نفخ الروح.
If there is the abortion of like a natural abortion, okay.
فإن لخوف الفقر والفاقة فإن ذلك محرم. الأمر الثاني من الأمور التي يحرم في ذلك في الإجهاض ولو كان قبل نفخ الروح أن تريد أن الإسقاط مثلا بخشية مثلا على سبيل المثال مثلا العار أو من الأشياء الجاهلية فإنه يحرم في ذلك أيضا لتلك العلة.
Okay, just saying that up to the 120 days before the entrance of the soul. Remember, at 120 days, that's when the soul enters the baby, that it is permitted, okay?
كذلك أيضا من الأمور التي يجوز فيها الإجهاض ولو كان ذلك بعد نفخ الروح.
Okay, now he's talking about, this is where it gets interesting, you guys. And it's talking about the possibility of abortion after the soul has been breathed into the fetus. The possibility of abortion after the soul has been breathed into the fetus. Now, the soul is breathed into the fetus at the 120-day period, at 120 days, 4 months. But he's saying there's a possibility of abortion based on after the 120-day period. But listen to how he gets this abortion after the 120-day period.
إذا كان ثمة خطر على حياة الأم.
If there is danger on the life of the mother.
فإن بقاء الأم أولى من بقاء الولد ويؤخذ من ذلك في سورة الكهف. سورة الكهف وذلك في قصة الغلام.
Okay, now he's going to Surah Al-Kahf. And you guys, this was interesting to me. It blew my mind.
الذي قتله الخضر وذلك لما خشي على والديه منه فإنه قام بقتله مع أنه في ذاته من جهته والعصمة ولو قيل بكفره ولكن لما اقترن ذلك بحياة والديه فإنه يقتل في ذلك. كذلك أيضا ما يتعلق في مسألة ومن هذا يفرع العلماء في مسألة عقوق الوالدين هل يكون قتلا أو ليس عقوبته في ذلك القتل تعزير أو.
Okay, now you guys, this is where I want to tell you about this story in the Quran, and it's a doozy. Let me just. Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Give me a 1 if you can hear me, you guys. Can you hear me? Okay, great. All right, there's this crazy story in the Quran, okay? And, okay, let's just, okay, Quran.com 18, okay? There's this crazy story, okay? Oops. I don't want the 86, 18. Okay, it's Surah Al-Kahf, okay? We're going to go way down here. Now this, you guys, this is his justification for abortion after the 4th month. Because remember, the 4th month is when the angel blows the soul into the baby, okay? And then, but he's saying there are cases like for the life of the mother where you can abort a baby after the 4th month, okay? But what's interesting to me is how he justifies it. Now, I've never heard this before. Maybe it's a well-known thing, but this is the first time I've heard it, okay? Okay, let me see if I can do this. Okay, I don't find it yet. Okay. I'm just going to read you this crazy story here. And remember when Moses said to his assistant, I will never give up until I reach the junction of the two seas if I travel for ages. But when they finally reached the point where the seas met, they forgot their salted fish, and it made its way into the sea, slipping away wondrously. Don't ask. When they passed further, he said to his assistant, bring us our meal. We have certainly been exhausted by the day's journey. He replied, do you remember when we rested by the rock? That is when I forgot the fish. None made me forget to mention this except Satan, and the fish made its way to the sea miraculously. Moses responded, that is exactly what we are looking for. So they returned, retracing their footsteps. There they found a servant of ours, to whom we had granted mercy from us and enlightened them with knowledge of their own. Moses said to him, may I follow you, provided that you teach me some of the right guidance you have been taught. He said, certainly, you certainly cannot be patient enough with me. And how can you be patient with what is beyond your realm of knowledge? Moses assured him, you will find me patient, Allah willing, and I will not disobey any of your orders. He responded, then if you follow me, do not question me about anything until I myself clarify for you. So now we're getting into this wacky area. They're saying that Moses is saying, I want to go with you. And he's saying, okay, if you want to follow me, don't ask me about anything I'm doing or reason for anything I'm doing. Okay. So they set out. But after they had boarded the ship, the man made a hole in it. Moses protested, have you done this to drown its people? You have done a terrible thing. He replied, did I not say that you can not have patience with me? Moses pleaded, please forgive me and do not be hard on me. This is a crazy story. So they proceeded until okay, this is where it gets crazy, you guys. This is where it gets crazy. Okay. And this, based on this crazy verse of the Quran, will justify aborting a baby after the 4th month. Okay. So they proceeded until they came across a boy, and the man that Moses was following, killed him. They came across a boy. There's this boy. They're walking around, there's this boy. And the man that Moses was following killed him, killed the boy. Moses protested, you have killed an innocent soul who killed no one. You have certainly done a horrible thing. He answered, did I not tell you that you cannot have patience with me? This crazy story. Moses replied, if I ever question you about anything after this, then do not keep me in your company, for by then I would have given you enough of an excuse. So they moved on until they came to the people of a town. They asked them for food, but the people refused to give them any hospitality. There they found a wall ready to collapse. So the man set it right. Moses protested, if you wanted, you could have demanded a fee for this. He replied, this is the parting of our ways. I will explain to you what you could not bear patiently. Okay, that's insane. As for the ship, it belonged to some poor people working at sea. So I intended to damage it, for there was a tyrant king ahead of them who seizes every good ship by force. So the reason he put a hole in it was so that this king would not take it from these poor people. Okay. As for the boy, his parents were true believers, and we feared that he would pressure them into defiance and disbelief. So we hoped that their Lord would give them another, more virtuous, caring son in his place. So you guys, what happened here is this guy killed this kid. The reason he killed this kid, he says here, as for the boy, his parents were true believers, and we feared that he would pressure them into disbelief. أما الغلام فكان أبو مؤمنين فخشينا إن يرهقهما طغينا وكفرا. So because we were afraid that this kid would lead his parents to disbelief, we killed him. Now this is Allah's words, you guys. So they killed this kid who hadn't done anything yet, but he was afraid that the kid might wear out his parents to where they leave Islam, maybe. So they killed the kid. Based on this story, the sheikh is saying that this kid, after 120 days, might lead to problems for the mother, so it's permissible to kill the kid after 120 days. So this verse in the Quran is being used to promote late-term abortions, according to this sheikh. Dude, have you ever heard anything like this? I never heard anything like this before. It just blew my mind when I heard that. First of all, there's this crazy verse in the Quran. It's better to forget about it. Forget that it's there. It's so crazy. You know, this guy, Moses, is following this guy. And this guy says, okay, you can follow me, but don't ask me about anything I'm doing. So he goes into a ship and he puts a hole in it. Moses says, well, dude, what, you want to drown us all? You know? And then the guy says, don't ask me. You're supposed to be patient. Shut up. And then he goes and he sees a kid and he kills him. And says, shh, huh? What, you killed the innocent soul who hasn't done anything yet. It's a preemptive killing. And the kid hadn't done nothing yet, but he was afraid he might do something. So they killed him. Killed this kid. Because he might lead his parents to disbelief. It didn't say he did lead his parents to disbelief. It didn't say he will lead his parents. He was afraid that it might lead his parents to disbelief, so they killed the kid. Dude, if this becomes a principle, what the heck? What the heck? I mean, where does it end with something like this? Where do you say it's a preemptive killing of the kid? It's so insane. You know what, RB, I'm going to read the tafsir now. I'm going to read it. We'll read it together. But what is fascinating to me and terrifying is that this sheikh is using this story as a justification for a late-term abortion. Muslims say, okay, 120 days, that's it. But this guy is saying, no, based on this verse, you can do a late-term abortion. How late? In this case, after the 4 months. But maybe 6 months, maybe 8 months, maybe 9th month. let's just listen a little bit more to this guy, you guys. I'm really, every now and then I'm listening to something and it's just like, dude, please tell me this isn't. It's like, wow. I mean, I've heard the story of this kid before, but I've never heard it used as a justification for late-term abortions. Let's just listen a little more to him.
أو ليس دي تعزير. هذا من الأقوال التي جاء فيها الأثر كما جاء في موسى لسعيد المسيب قال من ضرب أباه فاقتلوه. وهذا من المسائل التي تتفرع عن أصل هذه المسألة. فإذا كان وجود الجنين يسبب خطرا على حياة الأم ويخبر بذلك الأطباء الثقات فإنه يسقط ولو كان ذلك بعد نفخ الروح لأن بقاء الولد ليس بأولى من بقاء أمه. ما لم يكن خطر في ذلك مظنونا فيوقع ويتوكل على الله. وأما إذا كان قبل نفخ الروح ولم يكن من الأسباب المحرمة فإنه حينئذ يقال إذا كانت المرأة مثلا ثمة مصلحة كأن تكون المرأة مثلا في سفر في بلاد الكفار مثلا مع زوجها في تجارة أو مثلا في مصلحة هناك وتخشى أن مثلا تنجب وإنجابها في ذلك أن مثلا يكبر جنينها ويقع في ذلك مثلا من التأثر في ذلك البلد وعدم التحصين بالعقيدة ونحو ذلك فلا تريد أن تنجب في هذه الفترة فنقول في ذلك إذا كان قبل نفخ الروح فيجوز لمثل هذه العلة.
Okay, he's saying here now, there's other reasons. What if it's before the time, the 120-day point when the angel puts the soul into it, and they're living like in the land that the captives, like America or Europe, and they're afraid that the kid's going to grow up to be a disbeliever. There's nothing wrong with having an abortion at that point before the 120-day period, and so dang. Shoot, you guys, this is very disturbing. Very disturbing. Dang. Shoot. I just accidentally came upon this preacher and upon this, and so I'm gonna look more into it, you guys. This guy talks really fast. Okay, he talks really fast, so I think I'm going to listen to it again to try to get more out of it. But I want let's look at the hadith. Let's look at the hadith. What the hadith says about this about Khidr. Now I've heard about it before, but 80. '81, okay, 1880, 81, okay. Whew. Okay, commentaries. Let's see if Ibn Kathir has anything to say about this. Oh, they don't have 81. I don't blame them. Okay. Ibn Abbas narrated from Ubay ibn Ka'b, the Prophet said, the boy Khidr was the boy Al-Khidr killed. So it doesn't, the kid is not Al-Khidr. Al-Khidr is the guy that Moses is following around. Okay. The boy Al-Khidr killed was destined to be a disbeliever from the day he was created. He was destined. Yeah, boy, yay. Doesn't Allah the one who writes down when he's 120 days that he's going to be a believer or not a believer? He was destined to be a disbeliever from the day he was created. It was recorded by Ibn Jarir. Ibn Abbas said, the parents were believers and we feared he would oppress them by rebellion and disbelief. Their love for him might make them follow him in disbelief, Qatada said. His parents rejoiced when he was born and grieved for him when he was killed. If he stayed alive, he would have been the cause of their doom. So let a man be content with the decree of Allah. For the decree of Allah for the believer, if he dislikes it, is better for him than if he were to decree something that he likes for him. Jeez, what the heck? Allah does not decree anything for the believer except what is good for him. Dang, really? He decreed that this kid is going to be a disbeliever. It says, the boy was destined to be a disbeliever from the day he was created. He was decreed, Allah decreed he's going to be that. That's for his good. So we intended that their Lord should exchange him for them, for one better in righteousness, a child who was better than this one, a child whom they would feel more compassion. This was the view of Ibn Juray. Dang. Wow. Oh, shoot. It's just like, dang, this thing is, if there's any Muslims who want to come on and help us understand this, what the heck is going on here? There's any Muslims who want to come on and maybe help us understand, because we're totally in the dark here, and this is really unbelievable. 81, let's see. And we intended that the Lord should change him for another child, more keen to keep ties with Allah. Allah gave them instead a girl who later married a prophet, from whom she gave birth to a prophet, at whose hand a great number of people were guided. The son killed by Khidr, whose name was Jaysur, was, on the other hand, a disbeliever, a thief, and a murderer. He was killed. How did he know he was a thief, a disbeliever, and a murderer? This is why Khidr killed him. He was a little kid, a little boy. Ibn Abbas, this is Muhammad's cousin, you guys. Unbelievable. Let's see if al-Maududi, he's a little bit more modern, if he came up with a better explanation than this. I don't blame Muslims if they want to avoid these verses. It looks like he did too. He just went the Dhul Qarnayn. He didn't even want to deal with. It's quite obvious that the conjunction "wow" joins the story with the previous story of Khidr. Thus, it is self-evident proof that the two stories, sleepers in the cave, Moses and Khidr, are related in answer to queries. Okay. But it doesn't talk about the kid being killed. Okay. Let's see what what's his name? Ayatollah Khomeini said. Ayatollah Khomeini, you guys, he says it like it is. He doesn't pull any punches. He doesn't talk about this though. Okay. I don't know if someone else has a Jalalain we saw. Did we see Jalalain? I don't think we saw Jalalain. Let's see Jalalain. Nobody's got anything really meaningful. '81, he does have 81. So we desire that the Lord should give them in exchange, okay, يبدلهم, one better in purity. So he gave him a girl who married a prophet, who gave birth to a prophet, through whom a whole community was guided. Okay. As for the boy, his parents were believers, and we feared lest he should overwhelm them with insolence and disbelief. For he is, as described by the Hadith of Muslim, incorrigible, disposed to disbelief, and had he lived longer, this disposition of his would have oppressed them because of their love for him. They would have followed him in a path of disbelief. So it's a preemptive punishment. He didn't do it yet, but it's a preemptive punishment. So if there's a Muslim who wants to come on and help us out here, this is very laughable. This is very laughable. This is unbelievable. Okay, 81. Okay, let's look at 80. Okay, as for the boy, his parents, who were the spirit and physical nature, were believers, affirmers of the oneness by virtue of their yielding as they wayfare in obedience to God, submit to God's command, and comply with that God desires from them. And we feared lest he should overwhelm them, totally cover them with insolence towards them by manifesting himself in his I-ness. At his presential vision of the Spirit, and ingratitude towards the grace of having them by his disobedience and evil action, or with ingratitude for the veil, so that he ends up spoiling for them their affair and their religion, and invalidating for them their servanthood to God. They're just, dude, you know what this is, you guys? You know what this is? I'm not going to say the word, but I want to see if somebody else can say it for me. You guys, in honor of Kamala Harris, what would you call that passage I just read? In honor of Kamala Harris, what would you call that passage I just read? $5, you guys. I'm going to, in honor of Kamala Harris, what would you call that passage I just read? Planned unparenthood. Read it again. Okay. Okay. In honor of Kamala Harris. Okay. I'll read it again. This Kashani is wild. Okay. As for the boy, his parents, who were in spirit and physical nature, were believers, affirmers of the oneness of the virtue of their yielding, as they wayfare in obedience to God, submit to God's command, comply with what God desires from them. And we feared lest he should overwhelm them, totally cover them with insolence towards them by manifesting himself in his I-ness at their presential vision of the Spirit, and ingratitude toward the grace of having them in his disobedience and evil action, or with ingratitude for the veil, so that he ends up spoiling for them their affair and their religion, and invalidating for them the servanthood of God. There you go. Word salad. That's what it's called. That's hadith word salad. So yes, it's the word salad. That's word salad if ever I seen it. Ever I heard it before. Unbelievable. You know. Dang. So anyway, this sheikh that I showed you is using this story, this verse, this crazy, insane story, to justify late-term abortions. There you go. I'm going to study this a little bit more, you guys. Listen to this sheikh a little bit more. I bet you he's not the only one who thinks like this. But, wow. Serious. Is really unbelievable, that he said this. So, all right, you guys. Well, that's what I wanted to talk about tonight. I think we went through everything that I wanted to talk about. And keep us in your prayers, you guys. We're, God is blessing us. And anyway, we'll talk more later. And thank you for hanging out with us today. Would you like to say something? No? Okay. Is there any Muslims here who would like to come and help us out here? Help us out here. If there's any Muslims. I think there's some Muslims here. إذا أنت مسلم تعالوا فهمنا شو معنى هالكلام. تعالوا فهمنا شو معنات هالكلام هذا اللي بيحكيها الشيخ هذا عن الإجهاض. معقول هالكلام؟ Hiding in the background. Yeah. I think you guys, when you see that this is in the Quran. This guy just killed this kid. Preemptive killing. Preempted because he didn't do nothing yet. He didn't do nothing yet. So unbelievable. But based on this sheikh justifies late-term abortions. So are there any Muslims who have any opinion about this? Huh? All right, you guys. Well, thank you for hanging out with us. And if you haven't done it, please do it now. Jesus, help me. Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, come into my heart. Jesus, help me. Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, come into my heart. يسوع ساعدني. يسوع سامحني. يسوع ادخل قلبي. We love you, but much more importantly, he loves you. And so
every single student of knowledge knows, who studies Ulum al-Quran, that the most difficult topics are ahruf and qira'at, and the concept of ahruf and the reality of ahruf, and the relationship of the Uthmanic Mus'haf with the ahruf, and the preservation of the ahruf. Is it 1, is it 3, is it 7? And the relationship of the qira'at to the ahruf. This is a topic that when you're the beginning student of knowledge, you're like, what is all of this going on here? When you go a little bit more, you learn to simply memorize what your teachers say and regurgitate it out, and you don't fully comprehend. When you do a deep dive is when things get very, very awkward and difficult. And this isn't new. This is from the time of the Sahaba. This is not a joke, brothers and sisters. The issue of ahruf and qira'at caused confusion to somebody whom the Prophet ﷺ said, if you want to listen to the Quran directly, listen to Ubay. Ubay is not some even average Sahabi. He is the Qari of the Quran. He is the master. He is who he is. And he goes, فَدَخَلْ فِي نَفْسِي شَكْ. What is all of this stuff? Again, this is you were asking some very honest question. This is the first time I'm saying these things. Many people are aware who listen to my lectures that I've mentioned the crises that happened to me at Yale. This was the issue. That the issue of ahruf and preservation and qira'at and relationships between them, these are very, very difficult issues. And the most advanced of our scholars, they're not quite fully certain how to solve all of the unanswered questions in there. Here's the point. These issues should only be discussed amongst people who know what the qira'at are and who understand some of these questions that are being raised.
So is what you're saying
all right. Let me see if I got something else I could show you.
The other points that William Campbell raised was regarding Surah Kahf, chapter number 18, verse number 86, that Zulkarnain sees the sun setting in murky water, in turbid water. Imagine sun setting in murky water, unscientific. The Arabic word used here is, it is wajada, meaning it appeared to Zulkarnain. And Dr. William Campbell knows Arabic. So wajada means, if you look up in the dictionary also, it means it appeared. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is describing what appeared to Zulkarnain. If I make a statement that the student in the class said 2 plus 2 is equal to 5, and you say, oh, Zakir said 2 plus 2 is equal to 5.
All right, you guys. Showing you my old videos. Haven't shown some of these in a while. So, all right, you guys. Be blessed. يسوع ساعدني. يسوع سامحني. يسوع ادخل قلبي. We love you, and much more important, he loves you. Be blessed.
If you have ever wondered why dull apologists lie so much, it's because on a rare occasion that they tell the truth, this happens.
One of the reasons I accepted Islam was the scientific miracles. I'll be honest with you. And now we know that this whole scientific miracles was absolute nonsense.
You're going to have to repeat that.